Love it or leave it. Protagonists meet in the first 10% of the story.
Oh, 100%. I will read it if that's not the case, but I think that that initial meet cute or meet hate or whatever is going on with them sets up a lot about who the characters are in addition to the actual romance. Because I think the best romances are revealing character through how they deal with a relationship. And so when you see them meet for that first time, you can look at it and see here's what they're going to bring out in each other. Here is what clashes they're going to have. And it really sets up the whole tone and conflict of the book in just a single scene. So I do generally have them, if they don't know each other already when the book starts, then I want them to meet right away.
Love it or leave it. Dual point of view narration.
Yeah, love it. Yeah. I have read books that are single point of view. I mentioned KJ Charles, her book Any Old Diamonds does single point of view really well. I find single point of view works best when one of the characters is hiding something and we
Mm,
don't want the audience to know
yeah.
because if you're in their head and they're constantly thinking, oh, here is my tragic secret that I can't tell anyone, it drives the audience crazy because they're like, oh my god, just say it, I'm getting so annoyed. So I think single POV can work. It's not my go-to, but it can be done really well, and generally I do cleave towards dual POV.
All right. Love it or leave it. Third person, past tense.
That's also generally my go-to. I actually write horror fiction as well under my wallet name, as it were. In
Mm.
that, I generally write first person. In romance, I generally do third person past tense because I find that if you're in first person, it's almost too much being that close in their head. Like they're experiencing such heightened emotions that you're like, okay, I need to get a step back from this. This is freaking me out. So I think it allows for that distance so you don't feel almost voyeuristic in their head, but you're also still engaging with their emotions.
Hmm. Very interesting. Love it or leave it. The third act, breakup or dark moment.
I love it. And I think there's a very important reason for it. I think the point of the third act breakup in romance fiction is that the characters need that moment to say, what does this relationship bring into my life that I did not have before? And what would I be losing if it wasn't there? Because the best parts of romances are about the fact that characters make each other better. It's not just you make me happy, although that's great. It's also here is what you provide in my life that I didn't have and how you encourage me to reach for things that I wouldn't have reached for otherwise. And so I think the third act breakup, the purpose of that is for that character to have a moment to say, if this relationship ended and I never saw this person again, what would I lose? And that really reinforces for them, oh, I would lose all of this. I don't want to lose that. I need to rededicate myself to this relationship. So, as much as it can be like an eye roll thing, like, oh boy, here we go. They're having an argument because we got 50 pages left. It is also, I think, a really structurally important aspect of the romance plot.
Well said. Love it or leave it. Always end with an epilogue.
Um, You know what? I think I'm neutral on that one. I like a lot of epilogues, but I also think that sometimes it's okay to just leave it where it is. I mentioned Kat Sebastian. She's got one book, I think it's called Two Rogues Make a Right, which is very funny when you read it because neither of them are anything approaching a rogue. It's very much one of those things where, like, it's a historical romance novel, call them rogues, whatever.
Is
But
that the
that
one where one of them is dying of?
Yes, yes,
Yes. Yeah.
that's what I was about to say. One of them has a terminal illness. And so it's a happy for now ending. We don't know how long he's going to live afterwards, but we know they're happy now. And I think that's a valid approach to it. I think sometimes saying, you are not going to live until you're 80 and die surrounded by your grandkids and great grandkids, but you're going to be happy for the time you have left. And that's still valuable, is something I think that we could use more of in romance in general, because I think almost the happily ever after and then the epilogue can almost create this expectation of it. You have to have a very specific type of happily ever after ending. It has to look like this, when that's not how it looks for everyone. And I think historical romance should be a big tent where there's room for all different kinds of happy endings. So I like the epilogues a lot of the time, but I will also say I think that there are some books that are better without it. And also some books where it's like this not in the book proper, but the author puts it on their website so the reader can take it or leave it. And that's also great. I think that's a really good compromise.
Yeah. All right. Love it or leave it. Always share research in your author's note.
Oh, 100%. I've been on an Erin Langston kick recently, Forever Your Rogue and the Finest Print. And I love her books because you can tell like she really digs into the research. The Finest Print is set in a newspaper shop, and you like, I'm reading it like, I don't know a ton about printing in the Victorian era, but I can tell that you do, and I want to know more. So I love it when authors include their research afterwards because I am at heart a history nerd, and my next step is going to read the original sources.
All right. And finally, are there any other romance rules I didn't ask about that you like to break?
Well, I don't know if I'd call this a rule, but it is something I ran into a lot when I was querying, and so I think it's a publishing rule if not a writing rule. I had a lot of people tell me I like the book, I really enjoyed it, I like the characters, et cetera, but it is not going to be sellable with working class characters. Like point blank, this is a lords and ladies genre. Have you considered making her employer, her baby's father, the main character, and making these guys the B plot? You make that face, but like I told my friend Hannah, who beta reads all my books, and she was like, "But it's their story." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I appreciate agents telling me that. It's much more actionable advice than I don't think I'm going to take this on at this time. And it is what pushed me to self publishing. So I'm like, okay, this is just a bit too outside the norm for traditional publishing right now. But I do think there's a market for it. So I am going to go to the self publishing route. So that is a rule I think that very much should be broken, needs to be broken. Because
Yeah.
if we are writing romance on the assumption that everyone deserves a happy ending, but the only people we actually see getting happy endings are the lords and ladies, what are we even doing here?
Right.
Why are we saying that only a certain subset of the population are the ones whose love lives and happiness are worth talking about? So that is a rule I am very dedicated to breaking.
Well, fantastic. I'm so glad you're breaking that rule. I would be so devastated if the Lord of the Manor was the lead of this story.